Hello YouTube, my name's Jason and this is LimeRare. Today we're going to go over variables. In the previous tutorial we actually had some items that we were using that we did not get to use. I deleted this, but I shouldn't have. Playing equals, here we go. All the arrows are gone. We had these two variables, which string isn't a true variable, it's an object that is a string of the variable type char. When we go over objects in more detail, you'll actually understand what that means. So what is a variable? A variable is an element, feature, or a factor that is liable to change. Well, that's what Google says. In Java, there are 4 types of variables. There's an instance variable, which is also known as a non-static field because some variables are also known as fields. And a non-static field is basically what these are, what these two variables right here are, and what these two variables are. And to make this an actual class variable, which means static field, you would just add the keyword static at the very end of it. And what that does is that it allows it to be pulled from other classes more easily. It means there's only one. And then we have local variables, which are located inside of an array. Not an array, but a method. When we go over methods, you'll actually understand what a method is a little more. But right now we're going over variables. And a local variable is just a variable inside of an array. Equals 3, which I already had right here. And you can't declare a variable twice. So this is an array right here. I mean a local variable. It means it's in the curly braces inside of an array. Now this is also a type of variable, but it's called a parameter. And a parameter is located inside of the parentheses of an array. So that is on our 4 different variable types. Now we're going to go over the naming of variables. When naming a variable, any letter and digit sequence can be used as long as it's in the Unicode, so long as it begins with a letter, $sign, or an underscore. So if I was doing the playing, I could actually put a $sign right here and it would be okay. I could also put an underscore right here and it would be okay. But whenever you do this, actually don't even do that. Because if you're actually studying these tutorials for a professional career, that is looked down upon whenever you put the $sign or the underscore. You can also put numbers inside of it, but you cannot put them, you can't start it with numbers. You can put it at the end of it, that's fine, but it can't start with numbers. Now, that's pretty much all the rules on naming a variable. Then you have your primitive data type of variables. There's the byte type. Let's go ahead and open another class. Just go to right-click over here, go to New Project, click Java, Java Applications, go to Next, type in variable as a class, variables. I already have it, so I'm not going to need it. You would click Finish, and then it would create a new class for you. The next step you would have to do is go to the source package, go to Properties, check to see that this is not set to JDK6, but set to JDK7. That has to be JDK7. Also make sure this is set to JDK 1.7, not 1.6, and then click OK. The 8 primitive data types are byte, example, let's do this in our variables class, which should be right here. You would just open that by double clicking it. Byte would be our lowest valued variable. Let's write this as an example, equals, and it can be from negative 128 to 127. That is the extent to it. Then we have the short primitive data type. Let's call this example 2, and this can be anywhere from negative 32,768 and negative 23,767. Well, 32,767 and negative 32,768. Then our next highest one is actually the 32-bit integer data type, and let's give this the example 3 equals, and this can be anywhere from 2,147,483,648. This has to be a negative. That's negative that. And it can be anywhere from that to a positive 2,147,483,647. Our next one is the long. Also, this is the most commonly used one. I don't suggest using any other one but this one unless you actually have a number that's over 2 billion. And long is the largest of the data types on this. It's a 64-bit data type, and it can be anywhere from 922372036 854 775 808, and you have to end this with a capital L, and it's suggested that you use a capital L because a lowercase l looks like a 1. So we're going to use the capital L. I miswrote something here. 23 372 038 854 775 808. Anyways, it's a really big number. If you have to go to a number that high, I could probably delete one of these or two of these. I know why. I didn't give it a name. Whoop. I was wondering. Here we go. Example 4 equals, okay. Now as you can see, if you take the L off, it'll think it's an integer, and you don't want that. So use a capital L at the end of it to tell it this is not an integer. If you delete this, you should get an error, but I guess you won't. And it actually goes from that to 7. And a couple of our last ones, we don't need that there.